You are welcome to Code with Ethel, and today we are going to look at the basics in Excel, some few tools that we'll be using in Excel. So the basics in Excel, we are going to look at the naming of cells and range, the naming of sheets, coloring of the cells range, and then the sheet name. We are going to use that, look at the coloring of text, inserting of rows, and cell referencing. We are also going to look at inserting of pictures and shapes, hyperlink, protecting of cells, and then the last one. So all this is what we use in our project. And once you want to use Excel to develop simple applications, you can't do away with this. You will need them. So this is a separate video for this. We will take the first one, the first basics, which is this, will be in one video, and then the other ones will be in another video. So we don't waste much time. So let's just go into it. In our previous video, when we were looking at the overview, I may mention that where a column and then a row meet gives the name of the cell. This can be seen in the name box. So when you are here and you want to know the name of this particular cell, you look into the name box. But these names can be changed. And because of how big the project is, or because of the projects we will be doing, there will be a need for us to learn how to name cells and then how to name ranges. So we'll start by naming a cell. So with this name given, you can change the name of this cell, which is B2, to your preferred name. So what you do is you just click on it. You select the first one and then you name it the way you want to name it. Right? And you can also change this by clicking on any of the cells that you want, and then you change it by tapping the name box. And then you type the new name there. So the old name is no more there, it's overwritten by the new one. So this is it. That is it with the naming of cell. Now, if you want to name a range, like I said in our previous video, when you select one or two, more than one cell, it's called a range. So what you are saying, this is a range, this is a range, this can be a range, this is a range. And if you can name this range as well, you are seeing B2 because you selected from B2. Yes, but the range is B2 to B11. So we can change this name to whatever name we want. You can change it to whatever name you choose to give it. So let's say we have this here. Then we have class. Then we have gender. And so you can select this to gender. Press enter, it's changed. Let's say class. Let's say name. Let me select name. And then index. So when you use a drop down, you select where the name you have given. It sends you to where you have named. So let's say you have added a sheet and you are in a different sheet altogether. You want to know where you have named. It sends you back to the current sheet where the name is, and then gives you where you have named. So I'm here. I want to know where I have named gender. Select. It brings you to the sheet where you have named in this particular. So you can only use the customized name in the workbook that you have created. Yes, so that is it with the naming of source and range. So naming of sheet, this is a sheet. This what you are seeing at the bottom here is the sheet. And you can keep adding a lot of them. Yes, so when you want to name, you double click, left double click, and then you give it a name. So always give a name that is in line with what you are doing. double click, and then you give it a name. So that is how we name sheet, and then sheet also. So let's move to coloring of the cells and range. So now, if you want to color a cell, you select that particular cell, and then give it the color you want. Any of the cells, you come to the top here, use the home, the font, and then you select the color you want. And then if you want to name a range, let's say I'll select this range, you give it to select the color you want. So that's how it works. And then also, you can select the whole sheet, and then you give it the color you want. After giving it the color, you select whatever you want to do, maybe this particular range, and then you give it. So you can then decide what to do. So that is the designs you see in our previous video. This is the same pattern it follows. This is the same pattern it follows. So that is it with the coloring. So how to color the name of the sheet? You just, when you go to where the sheet, you right click on the sheet first, and then you see color tabs here. The color helps you to identify the sheet you are on. So you select the sheet. You right click, go to color tab, and then you select the color you want. Select the sheet, right click, go to color tab, and then you select the color you want. So that is how we color sheet. So now if you have a text, let's say you want to color the text in this, the font, yes, you go to font color here, and then you select the color you want to give it. You can even increase here, and then you select the font type you want to give. So that is how we do it. Yes, so that's how we color the text. And also, so now let's go to inserting and then deleting of rows and columns. So Excel always insert. Let's start with inserting. If you want to insert a column, okay, let me use a new sheet. So let me zoom in. So I have A, B, and E. So you realize that I have skipped one particular alphabet, which is C. So if I want to do that, because Excel insert on left, I will select column C, right click, and then go to insert, and it sends the empty sheet for you on your left, and then you can put in your C there. The same way with the rows. So if you want to insert a row, you always insert it on top. So you select that particular row, you right click again, and then you insert it, send it to the top for you. Then you can put in your C. So that is with inserting. Now let's go to deleting of rows and columns. So if I want to delete this particular, I just tap on the column, I right click again, and then I go to delete the row, the same way with the row. Yes, so that is how we delete and then insert columns and then rows in Excel. So you can also delete sheets as well. So you select the sheet and then you delete it here. So we have a lot of options. Once you delete, you can't do anything. You can't reverse it again. You can also hide. Instead of deleting, mostly I prefer you use the hide because you might refer to it again. So you can hide this sheet. You can also hide this. But you cannot hide. You can also hide columns and then rows as well. So you can also hide. Maybe you have done something and you don't want anybody. You don't use this particular one for now. You can hide it. So you can hide it. You can also hide this particular. So I always use the hide instead of delete. Yes. So if you want to unhide, okay, once you click on this, you see the unhide here. You click on here. Or mostly yes. So you select this, yes. So you select and then you unhide. You select the two columns and then you unhide. this one, you don't select, you just so it comes for you. So it brings it up and hide. It asks you which of the sheet you want to unhide. So that is it. So the next video we will talk about cell referencing and other basic tools that we will be using. Thank you for watching.